Hey everyone, welcome back to Cosmic Life Astrology. Today I'm going to talk about Mercury Retrograde, which started on April 1st and will continue until April 25th. I am a Gemini rising and I apologize, I am delayed on getting this video out to you guys, but better late than never. And we're going to take a look at where Mercury started before the retrograde began. So this way you have an idea or a better understanding of how things are going to transpire. So as of March 18th, Mercury hit 15 degrees of Aries and conjuncted the North Node. And this is when Mercury officially started the pre-retrograde phase. And 2 days later, Mercury conjuncted Chiron at 18 degrees of Aries. So when this happens during a pre-retrograde phase, it means that these conjunctions are a significant indicator of what's going to come into focus during the retrograde phase. And so with Mercury conjuncting the North Node, we're seeing something new come to your awareness, whether it's a new person or new information or a new idea, because Mercury is the ruler of our mind, as well as, controls our communication and, travel. And we all know the cliche of Mercury retrogrades with miscommunications, travel delays, traffic, and, technology issues and all that stuff that everyone sees on social media all the time. But when we're having a conjunction to the North Node, we're talking about something we're being drawn towards, or something that is grabbing at our attention, right? And then followed by the conjunction to Chiron is putting a focus on something that needs to heal. Now, if we break this down, Aries has to do with the identity, it has to do with your body, it has to do with your ego, yourself, and essentially the healing that could be taking place could be having to do with whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. Chiron has been working on having us heal pretty much through majority of 2023 and in 2024. And I say that because Chiron had its own retrograde cycle that started on July 23rd, where it was at 19 degrees of Aries, and it backtracked to 15 degrees of Aries, which brought us to December 27th when Chiron finished the retrograde period. So we're focusing on that 15 to 19 degree point of Aries, and we see that highlighted during the Mercury retrograde phase as well. And we also see it highlighted when we have the eclipse. So when Mercury starts its retrograde, it's starting at 27 degrees Aries, and then it's going to backtrack throughout the month to 15 degrees. Some key dates to pay attention to is on April 11th, when Mercury retrograde cazimis the Sun at 22 degrees of Aries, followed by April 15th, when Mercury retrograde conjuncts Chiron at 19 degrees of Aries. And then on April 19th, Mercury retrograde will conjunct Venus at 17 degrees of Aries. And then followed by April 25th, when Mercury finally gets to 15 degrees of Aries and finishes the retrograde, it will conjunct the North Node again. So we're seeing a repeated pattern of Mercury conjuncting Chiron, both pre-retrograde, during the retrograde, and then it will conjunct it again when it's post-retrograde shadow. And as well with the North Node. We began the pre-retrograde with a conjunction to the North Node. We're going to finish the retrograde with a conjunction to the North Node. And we see the solar eclipse happening at a degree point that is significant as well, at 19 degrees of Aries. So what I want to talk about is Chiron. Chiron is an important factor in this retrograde phase. And Chiron is known as the wounded healer because Chiron essentially was created out of a, I don't know what I can say on YouTube, but he was not created in the most ideal way, to put it lightly. And when he was born, he was abandoned by his mother, right? So talk about someone born with abandonment issues and being deeply wounded, and basically left to fend for himself and to navigate this world on his own. And in Chiron's journey, because of the wounds he carried, essentially he found healing for himself by helping others, right? And because he knew what suffering was like, and he knew what it was like to be alone, and to be left, to figure things out on his own, he had a great compassion and empathy for people and helped others on their journey that needed the support and the help. So, it goes beyond just being a wounded healer. He is like a, in a sense, you think of mothers like this, where mothers have a deep compassion for their children. No matter what, they unconditionally love them. And they're here to help their children grow and evolve. Chiron has a similar kind of love for people. And so when we see Chiron activated in astrology, we're going to see those themes of sacrifice and unconditional love and, possible having abandonment issues pop up, or, needing to heal some of the wounds from the past, whether it's through experiences with other people. It could be physical wounds as well. And this could just be wounds that have to do with how we process things, or how we've, held on to things that we need to let go of, right? And so during the Mercury retrograde period with these conjunctions to Chiron, it highlights the fact that we have to basically level up, right? Chiron's been working on that for quite some time with us. And when we see Mercury make a conjunction to the sun is going to highlight some kind of information or communication that brings up something that needs to be addressed, right? Something that, whether it's a new idea, whether it's communication with someone that needs to be had, or information that you need in order to move forward. And then followed by the conjunction to Chiron, there could be a trigger that occurs because of this information or new awareness, right? Or because of possibly someone coming back from the past to maybe reconcile a relationship, or heal something that needs to be healed between the two of you so you can both be at peace. We see a few days later, Mercury retrograde will conjunct Venus as well. This is happening on April 19th, and they will be conjuncting at 17 degrees of Aries. And so Venus is going to be an added benefit to what could be potentially a difficult, couple of days between the Mercury conjunct the Sun and Mercury conjunct Chiron, bringing up things that need to be addressed, bringing up communications that may be difficult or triggering, or, this can be a wounding time or a healing time. It's really a matter of your awareness and how you handle things, right? And Venus is going to step in and conjunct with Mercury, bringing a ability to have peace and harmony, right? And come to some kind of resolution. And when we're talking about Aries, you know, Aries is a very, can be very impatient. They don't like to wait. And Mercury is forcing Aries to wait. And there's a purpose for it. You know, we have the solar eclipse happening, which is a new moon on steroids, right? It brings in new beginnings. And with Mercury retrograde starting in between two eclipses, a full moon lunar eclipse and the new moon solar eclipse, we are being told by the universe, before you close one chapter and begin something else, you need to take a look at something. And whatever that something is all depends on your life and what areas of your chart this is highlighting, if there's any natal planets involved. But the message is to pay attention to what's being brought up during this time. You cannot have that new beginning and forge ahead to something new until you deal with something that needs to be dealt with. Now, this could be, you know, for the purpose of having a new beginning that involves somebody else, right? This could be for the purpose of knowing information that helps you move forward, that maybe ignites some kind of new interest that you need to look into, you need to do research on. You can't just go at it blindly. This could play out financially, where you may think about starting a new investment or, you know, doing some sort of project, whether it's real estate or, you know, getting involved in stocks or whatever it may be. But you have to do your homework and, you know, understand where you're putting your money. You can't just, you know, look for a quick fix, or some kind of, you know, some kind of situation that you're expecting a quick result. Whatever you do, you have to do it smartly, if that's a word. But you have to do it smart. You have to, you know what you're forging ahead towards. We have the North Node involved. So this is destined. Whatever is transpiring, it's meant to pull you forward for a new beginning. And with the Pisces energy that we have at play, alongside very heavy Aries energy, we're looking at where we're closing something out, where we're letting something go, or completing a chapter and starting something new and moving towards something, you know, that may be better for us and more in line with what we need, with what our goals and, you know, visions are for ourselves. We have to take that bravery that Chiron has to forge ahead and, you know, to, regardless of circumstance, be able to know that no matter what, you still have yourself. You know, if you don't have anybody else to rely on, you have yourself. And that's the Chiron message, is to know that you can figure out a way to survive anything, right? And I think that's why this retrograde period is more significant than most Mercury retrograde cycles, because we have that heavy Chiron influence involved. It's beginning in between two eclipses. We have the North Node involved. These are very significant, rare things that occur. And for it to occur in the middle of Mercury retrograde, on top of the fact that we also have a few days before Mercury ends the retrograde period, Jupiter and Uranus will conjunct in Taurus, which hasn't happened in, I believe it's 84 years. So this is a once in a lifetime conjunction. We have a lot of support for new beginnings. We have a lot of support to change things in a dramatic and big way in our life. but we have to know what we're getting into. We have to heal, you know, whether it's physical healing with your body, emotional healing with wounds that you may be carrying with you, or mental healing with your thought process and the way you think about things, or your perspective on life, or whatever ideas that you may have doubted yourself. You know, you have to fix that in order for you to be able to take a step ahead and to have that new beginning that the universe is aligning for all of us. Okay. So I hope I didn't lose any of you with all of that. You know, there is a lot to unpack and to understand with this retrograde, but the overall takeaway is that we have to be mindful during this time. Be mindful of what you speak, Mercury, what actions you take, Aries, and look at the details. Be a good listener. And, you know, really pay attention to what's being brought up right now, because there's important things to consider before you can forge ahead and have a new beginning. And it may be that there are things that you didn't know that now that you know, it's going to take you into a new direction. Okay. And with that, I do want to say we have a lot of astrology that is supporting us during the month of April and will help us on our journey. I will be here to talk about it every week. The next video I make will be on the solar eclipse. I'll probably be putting that out in the next day or so. And that's going to be pretty significant as well. We will see a lot of energy helping us to really make great progress in our life and realign us with where we need to be. So stay tuned for more videos. I hope this helped you understand what's ahead for us. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, share your thoughts and comment, and, you know, let me know if you're already feeling this energy play out in your life, if you're seeing certain things come up that need to be addressed. I would love to hear from you guys. Have a great month.